Hello, lovely people. Thank you for joining me here today for arm practice in our Yin class. So, a few things that you will need are a bolster or a pillow, folded up quilt, something that can give you some cushion but has a little bit of substance to it. As well, today we will be using a strap. If you don't have a strap, a scarf or any kind of long material, so even a twisted up shirt or something like that. A tie works really well too. And then lastly, a block. And again, if you don't have a block, a book works really well, a thicker book, something that takes a year to read. And yeah, I think that's about it. So feel free to grab those, pause the video if you're watching at a later time. And if you're live, you can just take a moment to go grab those, and we're going to settle into our centering. So sit in whatever way is best for you today. Cross-legged works really nice, but this practice can also be done with legs outstretched, or even if you prefer, you can do this entire practice today with a chair. So just get what you need in order to be comfortable. A folded up blanket underneath the seat as well is a really nice prop to help tilt the pelvis forward and give you a nice long spine so that you can just be relaxed in the core and breathe freely. So set yourself up. You can also do your centering on your back if you like today too. So just do you. You do you. Choose what works best for you. No matter where you are, let's take a moment to settle in. And we're going to begin to give some love to our arms, even in our centering and meditation portion of our practice today. So whether you're sitting in a chair, lying down, or seated, make sure that the arms can be relaxed and just resting beside you or on your lap. And if it's possible for you to just turn the palms up toward the ceiling, helping to open the shoulders and chest. And then close the eyes if you feel comfortable closing the eyes. And if not, just lower the gaze down toward the floor or down toward your heart. I'm just going to start by noticing the breath, settling into the space, landing in our bodies, bringing our minds back into our heart. And just start with some inhales and some exhales. Nothing forced. But just begin to really connect with each breath in and each breath out. If you can breathe freely through the nose today, then just lightly seal the lips. And just notice how the breath feels as it moves in and out through the nose. And breath by breath, settling in. Becoming present for yourself. And if this doesn't feel like it's happening easily today, have no worry about that. But the noticing, the witnessing, and the coming back to the breath is the practice. And now, perhaps, if you can, begin to lengthen the breath out. Again, not forced, letting the inhales just happen naturally and freely, and then giving just a little bit more attention and intention to the breath out, the exhale. Letting the exhale stretch out just a little bit longer. And as you begin to lengthen the exhale, We'll vision that exhale moving down and out through the arms and palms of the hands. So letting the inhale happen naturally, and as you breathe out, visualize, sense, and feel the breath and energy moving out through the arms and out the hands. Just noticing any sensations that come along with this. Lengthening the exhale, feeling it, sensing it moving down and out through the arms and palms. Keep the spine nice and tall. Exhaling out through the arms and hands. Just notice here if you begin to experience tension in any other part of the body, the shoulders or the neck during this process. Invite them to soften. Invite them to let go and relax. Exhaling out through the arms and hands. Allowing any tension in the arms to move out of the arms with the breath, carried by the breath. Allow 3 more full, long exhales, perhaps even stretching the breath out a little bit longer. You can keep your eyes closed here, or you can gently open your gaze. And now begin to just make a tight fist with the hands and then stretch the hands out nice and far. Tight fists with the hands and then stretch the hands out nice and far. One last one. Open the mouth and have a loud exhale. Good. We're going to start with a little bit of opening in through the neck and shoulders. The arms are an extension of the neck and shoulders. So just gently begin to drop the chin and find some nice half circles. Walk those hands out to the side and tent the fingers so that the tips of the fingers are just resting on the ground. By all means, if you need to switch the position of your legs at any time, you have full permission to do that, but find something that just works for you. Just some nice, gentle half circles. If it's in your practice to go all the way around for a full neck circle, go ahead, but please make sure that you're safe and that you have no injuries. As well, if you have any shoulder, arm, or neck injuries, Please listen to your own body. Yin practice isn't necessarily designed for repairing injury in the body. So if that's the case, you may want to make sure that you've consulted with your doctor and that you are really honoring where your body's at. Good. Bring the gaze back up. Draw the shoulders right up into the ears. Lift the hands and then loud exhale. Draw the arms back down. Keep the fingers tented while you do this. So they are going to lift off the ground, but keep them nice and active. Keep the arms nice and engaged here. Inhale. Let the fingers come back down to the ground. One more. Big inhale. Wonderful. Good. Bring the arms out to the side. Spread the fingers. Draw the palms behind you as far as they'll go safely. Breathe in. And as you breathe out, draw the arms over the body. Give yourself a big hug. Pull the tension out of the shoulders. Notice which arm is on top. Inhale, open the arms. And exhale to close. Give yourself a nice big hug again. And inhale. I'm going to do this a few more times on each side. Keep the fingers spread. And exhale. Continue to switch which arm is on top. And we'll do two more. Good. Just release the arms. Remember, full permission to switch your legs at any time. You can stretch them straight out, or you can be seated in a chair, whatever's best for you. Walk those hands out to the side again in that tented shape, and not pressing firmly into the ground, but just fingers resting lightly on the ground, and really walk the hands out as far as they'll go so that each finger and your thumb can still rest on the mat. Okay, good. Take a breath here. And as you breathe out, we're going to bring the lips over toward the left shoulder. Keeping the shoulder drawn down and away from the ears, from the head. And just take a few breaths here. Lips move down toward the shoulder. On your next exhale, gently bring the gaze back to center. And on your next exhale, bring the lips over toward the opposite shoulder. Just notice if the arms have moved at all. Just walk those fingers away. If you begin to experience any tingling or numbness, just walk the fingers back a little bit toward the body. And again, taking a few nice deep breaths here. As we start to open the arms, we may feel movement of energy in the arms, but if this turns into a tingling that doesn't go away or a numbness, this is your cue to back off. On your next exhale, draw the gaze back to center. And we're going to do one more on each side, this time just holding a little bit longer. So we're going to hold for 7 breaths on each side. Lips move down toward the shoulder. If you're familiar with yin practice, you know that we hold our postures a little bit longer in order to give a little bit of stress to the connective tissue and the joints so that they can begin to reshape and repair themselves in new ways. So, yin is a very meditative and slow practice. Doesn't make it easy. So, if you find it challenging to slow down for more breaths in each posture, just know that again, that is the practice. Once you're done your seventh breath, gently bring the gaze back to center and then move over to the other side. At any point in your yin practice, you can also close your eyes just to go a bit deeper in the body. You can also keep the eyes open. Good. After your seventh breath, gently bring the gaze back to center. Bring the palms toward the sky. Take a breath in, raise the arms only to shoulder height. Good. And then exhale to give yourself a big hug again. Inhale to open, spread the fingers. And exhale to close. Walk the hands out to the side again. This time, the left hand is going to stay on the floor. Breathe in deeply. And as you breathe out, we're going to draw the right ear toward the right shoulder. Now you can stay here with the arms, or you can take the right hand and you can bring it behind the back and start to walk the back of the hand up toward heart center. Okay? So the back of the hand, the thumbs and fingers are resting on the back body. They don't go up quite that high. You can just let them rest on the sacrum, the lower back. And if none of those options feel good, just keep the arm out to the side. Dropping down through the shoulders. One other option here is to take the hand and gently just put a little bit of pressure on the head, very little, just to encourage the neck and that left arm to continue to open. So you can move back and forth between any of those positions with the right arm. Again, long full breaths in and out of the nose if you're able to. Very gently bring the neck back up. Walk those arms out to the side. Once more. Take a moment here to shrug the shoulders right up into the ears and a loud exhale down. One more time. And let's do one more for luck. Good. Walk the right hand out toward the side now. Breathe in deeply. And on an exhale, draw the left ear over toward the left shoulder. So this is different than the first set of neck opening that we did where we brought the lips toward the shoulder. This time, ear is moving toward the shoulder. And again, you can keep the arms out to the side because we are continuing to open up through the arms. Or if you want a little bit more opening, you can take the hand down to the low back. Back of the hand rests on the low back, or you can walk the hand up closer toward heart center. So that means that the elbow begins to come closer in toward the body. So those are a few options. And remember, one last option is to just take the hands, just gently take the fingertips and encourage a little bit of a deeper opening. And as you do this, you should also feel the opening in through the neck, but also moving down and out through the arms and fingers. Again, long, full, deep breaths. We're going to very gently release. Bring the head back up. Taking good care of our neck here, moving slow. And then some shrugs and or shoulder circles. So you can kind of incorporate both together. Bringing the shoulders up into the ears and then down and back. Good. Wonderful. We're going to take the hands now and bring them into prayer position. So palm to palm, fingers spread, thumbs touching. Okay. And if you find that tricky and the bottom of the palms don't connect, just work toward that. Okay. Wherever your body's at, meet it there. And then we're going to draw the hands down so that the forearms are parallel to the floor. You begin to press strongly through those fingers, adding a little bit of pressure to the joints. Drawing the shoulders down and away from the ears, pressing the palms in toward each other. You should be able to feel the arms engage. Forearms stay parallel with the floor. And notice what's happened with the breath as we start to feel tension creep up in parts of our practice. Does the breath stop, or are we able to still continue to have a long, fluid breath? Let's take about 7 more breaths here. After your next breath, begin to move the hands over toward the right side of the body. Still putting pressure in the palms. Still drawing the shoulders down and away from the ears. Those fingers, the thumb and hand, move over toward the right armpit. Slowly begin to draw the hands back to center and then right over to the other side. As you do this, notice if that left elbow starts to shift up, drop it back down. Okay. Try to keep the forearms parallel to the floor, and you might not be there. You might still have a little bit of a pop up with the elbow, but just intend for those forearms to be parallel to the floor. Shoulders continue to draw up and out of the ears. And then also notice if the back has really started to arch, if you've popped those ribs out, see if you can just bring that belly back toward the spine a little, still breathing freely, so we're not tight in the belly, but just so we have a nice natural curve in the spine. Breathing freely. Just a couple more breaths here. And gently bring the hands back to center. Interlace the fingers and just press down and away with the arms. Okay, so the fingers are interlaced, and whether you're seated or seated in a chair or on the floor, we're going to begin to just shift the body forward. And if you're sitting in a chair, we're going to shift so that the palms begin to come toward the knees. And if you're on the floor, we're going to shift so that the palms begin to come down toward the floor. Okay, so we're pressing down and away from the ears with the hands. And if the hands don't quite reach the floor, you can take a block, okay, and just reach the hands toward the block or your book or whatever you're using to elevate the floor to meet you. So again, shoulders drop down and away from the ears. Find the breath. And again, just notice what's happened to the spine here. So try not to curl down and collapse in through the chest. Try to keep the spine nice and tall, but also not so popped that the chest moves forward. Okay, breath is long. If you like, you can drop the chin down toward the chest. Just a few more breaths here. And slowly release. We're going to gently come back onto our sit bones. Release the hands. Good. And maybe just a few shoulder circles. Now we're going to draw the arms behind us. I'm going to turn so that you can take a look here. And we're going to do reverse prayer behind the back. Now, this may not be something that's working for your body today. So another option is to hold on to fingertips or onto wrists or elbows. So it can look like this, this, or this. If you're in full prayer, see if you can bring all the parts of the palm of the hand together, including the thumb and fingers. Okay, so here, 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 or here. Draw the shoulders down and out from the ears. If you're in full prayer, walk those fingers up toward the heart. Really focus on pressing the palms of the hands together. This is going to create a little bit of tension in through the elbows. And the elbows are often neglected joint in the body. So we do want to create a little bit of stress in the elbow joints so that they can repair themselves and become stronger. Okay. If you are holding onto your elbows, just squeeze whatever part of your arm you're holding onto so that the arms become a little bit more engaged. And then begin to find your breath again. Take just about 3 more breaths here. And if you're watching this after the live viewing of it and you would like to stay in any of these postures for longer, I do encourage that you pause the video and stay for as long as you like. So our yin postures can be held for a minute to 3 minutes to 5 minutes, sometimes even up to 10 minutes, depending on what's happening in your body. And we're going to gently release that now. Bring the arms onto the legs. And just for a little break, let's do some cat-cows in through the spine in case we've started to develop some tension from the arms and we've transferred it to the spine. So we're going to breathe out to draw the heart back. Collapse down through the chin. Press the back body to the wall behind you. Breathe in, okay, tilting from the pelvis, drawing the heart forward, dropping the shoulders. If you have a safe and happy neck, drawing the chin up. And exhale, moving from the pelvis, up the spine, drawing the heart back. Good, and just moving with your own breath. So inhale as we come forward, and exhale as we come back. Great. Coming back to neutral. We're going to take our strap or scarf or tie or whatever it is that you have chosen to use. And we are going to take cow face arms. So this can feel tricky and challenging, especially if you have tightness in the shoulders and upper arms. The legs can remain cross-legged. You can bring the legs out long. In fact, if your legs are cross-legged, just stretch the legs out and give them a little shake. Maybe let the ankles move from side to side. If you're seated in a chair, you can just continue to sit in a chair. Or you can bring the legs into this posture as well. So sit however you like, but if you'd like to bring this into the low body as well, we're going to take shoelace legs, okay? So the right leg is going to come underneath with the knee moving toward the center line of the body. And then the left leg is going to come on top. The idea is that the knees stack. This may or may not happen for you. Don't worry so much about it. If we're really quite far out, you can take fire log legs as well. So instead of the knees being stacked, it's the ankle or the knees over the ankle and the ankle over the knees. And if you feel like you're tilting way over to the side here, that left seat is quite lifted, elevate underneath the right sit bone. So put a blanket or small foam block underneath the right sit bone. Okay, so figure out your legs where you'd like them to be. Okay, and then if you are in shoelace, the feet walk a little bit closer to the front of your mat. The feet can also come back, just depending on how open your hips are. What we're really going to focus on is the upper body here, okay? So our strap or our scarf is going to come up and be held in the right hand, okay? We're going to bring that arm up. Again, any shoulder injuries, you need to listen to your own body. This may not be the practice for you today. Really listen to your own range of motion. You can also, as a modification, simply let that right forearm rest against the back of the head, and you can just stay here. Maybe that might be enough for you today. Otherwise, we're walking that right elbow again toward the center line of the body. Okay? And that right hand drops behind us. Okay? So the strap is resting somewhere on our low or somewhere on our back. We'll open up that left hand out to the side and draw it behind us and then find the bottom of that strap. Some people may not need to use a strap at all. I'm going to turn around so that you can see the back body. I just want you to be cautious of the neck and the spine alignment here as well. So as we move into the arm portion of this posture, really make sure that the spine is nice and neutral and that the neck is an extension of the spine. So make sure that the neck is rising right up out of the spine and stays in the center line of the body. Okay. From the back, this is what will look like. And maybe that bottom hand is way down here, but what we're intending is for those hands to meet, okay? So walking the hands up the strap and walking the top hand down to meet the bottom hand. Again, some people might be able to just forget about the strap, interlace the fingers. And then from here, we're going to do just a slight adjustment. So feel your breath. And I would like you to envision that top arm moving up and toward the center, and the bottom elbow to move down and toward the center. Really big opening for the arms. Good. And again, find your breath. Remembering if at any time you start to feel tingling, numbness that doesn't go away, please gently begin to come out. Remember, the modification is just simply that top arm, hand can rest on the head, elbow moves behind you, or forearm rests on the head. Again, pay attention to the body twisting here, or the spine collapsing, or the neck moving out of alignment. Try and see if you can keep a nice tall spine. Let's do 3 more breaths here. And again, this is a posture that you can hold for a lot longer if you like. You're going to gently release. So let go of the strap, lower the bottom arm, lift the top arm up, and allow it to come down beside the body. And let's just take a moment to find some wrist rotation. maybe some shoulder rolls. And then take a moment to just shake out through the hands. Good. Stretch the legs out. Take a moment just to tap through the legs. Again, releasing just through the hips. Good. And then we'll move on to the other side. So choose whatever leg position works best for you. If you want to do the full posture, this time the right leg is going to come underneath with the knee pointing forward. Knees intend to move toward the center line of the body. Again, if you're lifting up in that right seat, prop underneath the left seat to elevate. Okay, good. Have that strap. Again, the hand can just rest on the back of the head. So there are a variety of modifications for this posture that you can use. The forearm can rest against the back of the head if you like. If you'd like to start moving into the full posture, holding on to the strap or your scarf, whatever you've got available. In that left hand, drawing that left arm up and over. The hand moves toward the spine. The right arm comes out to the side, palm flips so that the palm is facing the wall behind you. Elbow bends and we reach back to grab that strap. Again, maybe you don't need the strap or your scarf and you can just interlace your fingers. Maybe there's quite a large space, like in between the lower hand and the upper hand, and that's just fine too. Over time, we're working on walking the hands to meet each other. That right arm moves down and the elbow moves toward the spine. Okay, top arm moves up and elbow moves toward the center line of the body. Again, pay attention to any twisting in the torso. Try and keep the spine nice and tall. Remember that the neck is an extension of the spine, so if you start to notice that the neck is losing alignment with the spine, just bring it back. Top arm moves up and toward the center line. Bottom arm moves down and toward the center line. And then reconnect with that exhale. This is a posture that most people do feel some tension in, for sure. And often when we begin to feel tension, we lose the breath. So come back to the breath. Even if that means you have to back off the posture just a little bit. Long, full exhales if you can. Again, you can stay here for as long as you like. If you're watching this at a later time, pause the video, stay a while longer. Otherwise, we'll take 3 more breaths. Gently begin to release the lower arm. Let the upper arm come down. Release the strap. And again, just some nice wrist rolls, shoulder shrugs or circles. And I do recommend a nice shake through the arms. And let the fingers really relax here. Let the thumb relax. Okay. Yeah. Awesome. All right. Unwind the legs if you're in full posture. Shake them out. Just place your props off to the side. We're staying on our seat for one last posture. Stretch the legs out long. If you're in a chair, keeping the legs down, but stretch them out a little bit so that the legs are no longer 90 degrees. If you're in a chair, you're just going to reach behind to touch the seat behind you. And if you're on the floor, we're going to begin to walk those hands behind us, okay? We may need to stay on the fingertips. But if you can, let those palms of the hands come down to the floor. Fingers point behind you. Okay. Gaze is straight ahead. See if you can also keep contact with the thumb on the floor. And make sure here that the heart is moving forward, shoulders are dropping down and away from the ears, and you're pressing strongly into those palms. The advancement here is to walk the hands closer together. The modification, if this is already too intense, is to walk the hands further away from each other. Okay, again, numbness or tingling is your sign that you've probably gone a bit too far for your own body today. So take a moment just to experiment where those hands need to be. Again, the closer together the hands, the more intense this posture is going to be. The further away the hands are from each other, the less intense this is going to be. And then just to have something to do with our legs, begin to point the toes forward and back. Okay. Continuing to press the hands into the floor. And then point the toes all the way forward. Really begin to draw those shoulders together. Press through the hands. If you have a happy neck, you can begin to bring the gaze up toward the ceiling, but don't just let the head collapse. Keep the neck active. Press through the hands. Find your breath. Three more breaths here. Bring the gaze back to center. Gently walk the hands back toward the body. Lovely. We're going to come over onto our hands and knees. And if the hands and knees aren't accessible for you for whatever reason, you can actually stand against the wall. So we're going to do child's pose here. And you may also want to use your bolster, okay? We're going to do a child's pose here. And the bolster isn't necessary, but if you want a little bit more elevation with the arms, you can use the bolster. Again, if hands and knees aren't accessible for you, you can either use the chair that you're using and just stretch the arms out in front of you, or you can use the wall and just press the hands against the wall, okay, in a downward dog. So I'm not going to go all the way here, but imagine if you're standing, pressing the hands against the wall and just beginning to fold forward, okay? Otherwise, child's pose, feet together, knees apart. Without the bolster, walking the hands forward, really stretching out through the fingers and thumb. And then lowering the forehead down toward the floor. We want a little bit more of an intense opening with the arms. We're going to place the arms, the hands on the bolster to elevate the arms a little bit more, and then bring the forehead down toward the floor. We're going to stay here, okay, for about a minute. Again, you can pause the video, stay longer if you like. And again, making sure that there's no numbness or tingling. If there is, you've gone too far, come on up. Use the exhales to help you settle in deeper. Remembering a little bit of tension, a feeling of tension is good. But if it moves into pain in the arms or shoulders or back, that's your cue to come out. Again, stay longer if you like. Otherwise, begin to press through the hands. Gently walk yourself back up. Remove your prop off to the side. We're going to come down onto our belly. Okay? If for any reason the belly is not accessible for you, you're just going to find a wall to work with here. Okay? Hand rests on the wall. And we're going to begin to turn the body away from the wall. This is wings on ground posture if you're going into the full posture. Stretch the left hand out to the side. Fingers spread. Palm faces down. Okay. And then using the opposite hand on the ground to begin to push through the ground and bring a little bit more pressure onto that extended arm. Okay, make sure that that extended arm is feeling safe. Fingers are spread, thumb is spread, and you're only going to go as far as your own body wants to give you permission to go. You can draw that knee up toward the chest. And as we bring that opposite arm to the ground to help draw our chest open, you can bring something under your head if you like. And if you'd like to go a little bit further, the foot comes onto the floor and the knee begins to open. Okay. From the opposite side, it's going to look like this. The arms extended. And we begin to open. Again, find your breath. Take 3 more breaths there with the arm extended, the chest opening up toward the ceiling. Again, if you're on your seat, The hand is on the wall, and you're just opening the chest up away from the wall. So 3 more breaths wherever you are, and then we're going to switch sides. When you do switch sides, do it nice and slowly. Extend the arm out to the side. Fingers spread, thumbs spread, and then you begin to gently walk those fingers away from you. Turn the chest up toward the ceiling. Use that other hand to create some pressure to help you open. And if you want to go a little bit deeper, that top leg foot comes down toward the floor. You start to open up the knee toward the ceiling, and the chest opens even more. Again, numbness or tingling, it's your cue to come out. You don't have to open the full extent of the posture in order for this to be effective. Sometimes just having the arms extended out to the side is enough. Take just a few more breaths here. And then we're going to gently bring ourselves up and onto our backs for our Shavasana. Okay, so lying on your back, finding a comfortable position, or maybe you'd like to do your Shavasana seated today as well, whatever works best for you. But really, again, we're just going to focus on the arms for this last posture here. So if you're lying on the ground, you may want to put a bolster under your knees just to support the low back. And if you are on your back, just really walking those fingers away from the shoulders, letting the palms tip up toward the ceiling. And if you're seated, again, the palms are just facing the ceiling, nice and relaxed. I'm going to go back to that visualization in the beginning of the class, finding a long, full, deep exhale. And as you breathe out, imagining, intending the energy and breath to move down and out the arms, leaving the hands. Stay as long as you like in your Shavasana. Take good care of your whole being. See if today you can give a little bit of extra love to your arms. Pay attention to all they do for you and with you. Take some time to give them a little extra love. Thank you so much for coming to practice with me today, whenever you're watching this. The light in me sees and honors the light in you. Namaste. Thank you for coming. We'll see you next time.